Hey everyone, Flint Truth Channel here. Want to address, as I did yesterday, this double standard in this world, with the average peasant, the average citizen. You're just peasants to the system. You're just peasants to the corporals, the chiefs, the lieutenants, the sergeants. They're all made men. You don't get those positions unless you are vetted and they know for a fact that you're somebody that's going to go with the program. And that's just the way that it is. This right here is a drunk corporal, police corporal arrested for drunk driving, as you guys can see right there. And of course, he gets special treatment. They put him in the front seat. They don't want to cuff him. And I'm gonna play this quick little video where you can see they do not want to cuff him at all. And I'll leave the link for the full video. You guys can go watch it. This whole video, he almost got away with this DUI because the cop did not want to do her due diligence. She did not want to do her job. She shut her camera off several times, even though she said she wouldn't for integrity purposes. She did shut it off, and she tried very hard to let this corporal get away with it. And what I mean by that is, she tried to just do an information exchange, so that way there would be no police report. It's just civil between the two parties. The other driver wanted a report, so therefore she had to at least act like she was doing her job. So she called her supervisor, and they didn't want to actually pursue this. He was so stupid, he actually participated in the field sobrieties. Which cops are trained to never do. And he was just not very smart about it at all. But right here, I'm going to play a little clip, and I'm going to show you the double standard of how they treat him and how it would have been treated if it was anybody else.
Listen to me.
Put them on.
I'm not going to cuff you.
Oh, yes, you are, because they're watching.
No.
Yes, you are, because they're watching. Not because it's your job, because it's your right, or because you have to, because it's policy and protocol. This guy, they've done, it's not like because some people might say, well, they don't always arrest the people for on DUIs. Sometimes they got to take them back to the station, do field sobrieties, then they can cuff them and arrest them. But no, at this point, he's already done field sobrieties. They've already see the slurred speech, bloodshot, watery eyes. He can't stand up. I mean, there's so many visual clues that would give them enough evidence to place this man under arrest, get a warrant for his blood. Instead, they don't want to arrest him. They put him in the front seat. They don't want to handcuff him. Now, if that was me or you, we would be handcuffed. We'd be treated like crap. I mean, she's like best buddies with this guy. She keeps saying how uncomfortable of a situation she's put in and how uncomfortable she feels. But I'm like, that's your job. It's like, why are you sitting here mentioning, oh, I'm so uncomfortable. I'm so uncomfortable. It's your job. Do it. Stop giving special treatment because you work with somebody.
You are. They're watching.
Okay.
And then they said,
We'll
okay.
cuff you over by my car.
Yes, you will.
Yes.
They're watching.
Yes.
Look at her face right there when he said, yes, you will cut. They're watching. She absolutely did not want to do that. She did not want to cuff him. The whole time she's calling him Birdie and being friends with him and almost in like a flirting type manner. This guy's complaining about how he's like a loser and how he fails at everything in life and his wife just left him and yada, yada, yada. And she's over there consoling him, massaging him on his back. At one point, she sits down next to Sarge, sits down next to him and just shuts her body camera off and just starts talking to him and consoling him and tell him, hey, there's ways to get around this. Don't worry about this. Just go with the program and we'll get you through this and you don't have nothing to worry about. And look at her face. I do not want to do that.
Cuff you over by my car.
Oh, yes, you are, because they're watching.
No.
Yes, you will.
Listen to me.
Put them on.
I'm not going to cuff you.
Oh, yes, you are, because they're watching.
Here, I'm not going to cuff you. Now, with the DUI indicators that she's already had, with everything added together, she's got a slam dunk DUI case, okay? And she can go get a warrant at this point to get a blood draw to make it even more slam dunk. She's not even trying to handcuff this guy. She don't even want to handcuff. The only reason why they're handcuffing him because the other party is still there. That's the only reason why they're doing this. When the sergeant rolled up, she didn't even want to do the investigation. She said, who's that in the car over there, those people watching. She said, oh, those are the people that he hit. The sergeant even went over there and tried to make them leave. The sergeant tried to, hey, what are you waiting here for? Do you need us to call a tow truck? Tried to get them out of there. They wanted him to do field sobrieties back at the station. I mean, because they didn't want to do it in front of nobody. They didn't want it recorded. They didn't want no evidence. This is the type of double standard that they do. And then when they catch somebody like this, 9 out of 10 times they let the people go, unless they absolutely have to, prosecute the person because of a situation like this where there's other people involved and they're recording and they're watching and they have to do their due diligence and they have to do their job. But 9 out of 10 times, these cops, these lieutenants, these mayors, these doctors, these judges, when they get pulled over, they get let off, ready to go. There's not even an investigation to see if they're drunk. There's nothing like that. They're let go. And the body camera footage is marked as not evidentiary purposely, or they put the wrong case numbers so that way it can be lost and then mark it as not evidentiary. So that way in 30 days, 30 to 60 days, if nobody hasn't been brought to their attention, the video will be deleted and there'll be no proof or evidence. And that's just how this thing is. They sit there and mute their body cameras and claim every time that they're going to have a officer conversation. But they shouldn't be allowed to mute the cameras. Once they start their shift, those cameras should be built in automatically to their outfit, to their vest or whatever that they put on. And when they put those vests on, the camera should be charged to stay on their whole shift. Maybe even 5-10 hours extra in case something happens where they have to go over. Make sure they have super strong batteries. And they should not be allowed to turn their cameras off. They should not be allowed to mute them because they know they can use those cameras to their advantage, because all they got to do is anytime there's something that hurts them or they're having their little officer conversations and stuff, that's all when they're basically doing their illegal stuff, and they kill the cameras for that officer conversation, because they go in their little corner and they say, hey, how can we get them? What can we do? You know what I mean? And that's what they do. The whole thing is how can they screw somebody's life over, how they can charge them, that's how they look at the average peasant. They're not trying to save them any money. They're not trying to help them. And their attitudes is total robotic. But when they get a corporal, they treat them different. Don't even want to handcuff them.
Yes, you are. They're watching.
We'll cuff you over by my car.
Yes, you will.
Yes.
They're watching.
Yes. You've been compliant. Can I at least cuff you in the front?
See, they want to cuff him in the front. He's already sitting in the front. Now let you and I go out and drive DUI, drunk, smash into somebody, do what he's done, and then just be able to be not handcuffed. He's only handcuffed because he said handcuff me, because he's a corporal. He knows people are watching, and he knows at this point he needs to be handcuffed. Otherwise, it's going to look really bad on him, and he'll have no shot of making it through this. This is absolutely, though, the double standard in life. This is what we go through. This is how they treat the upper class citizens, the Masons. This guy, I'm not saying he's a high ranking 33rd degree Mason or nothing like that. He's just your average, probably low level Mason, but he's connected. He's a part of the brotherhoods. People need to understand, why do you think people go to these sororities? Why do you think they go to these fraternities? Why do you think they go to these Rainbow House for girls when they're teenagers? Why do they go to the Demolay Society, when they're male teenagers? It's to get them ready for the occultic world and religion that they're about to take place in, and to prepare them for the journey that they're about to be on, okay? And all the people in your school that are part of the fraternities and part of the frats, and you think that they're just lucky because their parents have money or because they're connected, because they have money, there's a reason why they have money. It's because they're connected. They're part of the fraternities. They're part of the brotherhoods. Okay, they've been allowed to be successful because they're a part of the satanic organization, whether they realize it or not. Okay, there'll be people that comment on here, oh, my brother's a doctor, my aunt's a lawyer, and I know they're not Satanists, I know they're not Freemasons. No, you don't know nothing, because these people take oaths to never reveal their secrets. Okay, so unless you are a brother of the same degree, a brother or sister of the same degree, they can never reveal their secrets to you, whether you're their wife or their kid, their cousin, their aunt, their uncle. They take oaths, blood-curdling oaths that you wouldn't believe. I've exposed their oaths, where they said they'll, have their eyes plucked out, have their heads severed off, their intestines cut out, their tongue cut out. I mean, you wouldn't believe the obligations. And if you think it's just a fake obligation that they don't stand to or they don't believe, you're absolutely wrong, okay? Those Masons, they take those blood oaths to the death, okay? And you cannot default on those oaths, okay? And these people, when they take those oaths, they don't reveal their secrets and information because that's part of the pact. That's part of the brotherhood. That's how you get to the next degrees. That's how you move on. You know, you have to be proven worthy, okay? And once you're proven worthy, once you're allowed to be, you know, invited into the Freemasonic club and you're a part of the, you know, you're a part of them, you don't tell the outsiders your beliefs, okay? You don't tell your aunts and uncles, cousins, whoever, you know, unless you yourself are the same degree as your aunt or uncle and you are in the lodge, and then they might tell you, and you guys, you know, obviously will probably, you'll know, because if you're the same degree and you go to the same lodge, you're obviously going to know. But for the most part, they don't just, you know, not, I shouldn't say for the most part, they don't. If you are their wife, okay, these Masons, they go home, and a lot of them, for the longest time, a lot of their wives aren't Masons, aren't Eastern Stars. So they don't go home and tell their wives all the stuff that they do in the lodge, all the things that they believe, all the teachings. They don't do that, okay? It's not how they operate. They take oaths against that. So, and I've exposed all this. I've exposed their beliefs. You know, I've exposed how they cover for one another. And, you know, their Masonic oath is that, you know, that they are always to cover another brother of this of that degree or higher. Always. They're always to look out and cover that brother. You know, and they say unless the charge is murder. But we know even for murder, they overlook that too. Because if you're high enough and you're successful enough, you know, there's just a double standard in life, and this is just another example of it. And so I wanted to show this to you guys. You know, a lot of people are bootlickers, and they think these people are heroes, and they're just like, oh, I just thank you for your service, and they don't realize, you know, same thing with the military people. You know, they see a guy wearing a military uniform, and they say, oh, thank you for your service, you're such a hero. They don't realize what he's a part of, what he signed up for, what he, you know, what the agenda he's furthering. Okay, he's not a hero. Okay, he's been fooled, he's been bamboozled. Doesn't mean he's a bad person, okay? A lot of good people are fooled, but they've been bamboozled and fooled and tricked, okay? And they don't see the forest for the trees, and they can't because they've been given over to a reprobate mind, as the Bible says, and they just can't see the evil that they're creating because they are so far gone. And they don't have any discernment, okay? They don't have any conviction. So just thought I would share that with you guys. Like I said, you're free to think how you want, feel how you want. I know I'm going to get people that think differently and are going to sit here and criticize my my video, and that's fine. We're all entitled to our own beliefs, but what I said still stands and it still holds merit. So with that said, God bless you all, and I look forward to seeing you guys and interacting with you guys in the next video. So I appreciate you guys. Like, comment, share, subscribe. It does help the channel, and I appreciate you. God bless.